Hi everyone, and welcome back to Greater Manchester Stories. This episode's guest is Billy Brown, who's from Offerton in Stockport. He's got a bit of not a strange story, but he's got a unique story with a happy ending. So these podcasts at the moment have been heavily critical of GMP. This has got nothing to do with the police. This is a positive story with a message that we need to take on board so we can help generations of other young people reach their potential and reach their success. So first of all, welcome Billy to the show.
How do you, mate? You all right?
I'm good, thank you very much, and thanks for coming on.
No problem.
So tell us your story. How did it start and where are you today?
Right, yeah. I'm a Stockport youth. Grew up on Offerton Estate. Single parent household. My mum worked long hours. Some of you probably know me. My mum worked in the social club in Offerton. She cleaned in there. She worked behind the bar. I dropped out of school when I was about 13 and a half. School system wasn't for me. The school classroom, I was classed as one of these disruptive children. And I just didn't really fit in the classroom. It wasn't an environment that I could really learn in. And there was quite a few of us at our school who were like that. So dropped out of school, and then by an off chance, my tech teacher, which was Paul Davis, he phoned my mum and said, "We've got a course going with British Aerospace." So it was every Wednesday, a 36-week course. And he said, I know Billy's situation, doesn't like coming to school. How would he like to join this course? And my mum said, "Billy, the phone's for you. You had phones back in the day, no mobile phones." And says, "Do you want to join this course?" I was like, "Nah, it's not for me. It's not for me." But anyway, I had a bit of an interest anyway in cars and bikes and stuff. Grew up on Offerton Estate, and I ended up getting on this course. Right, so it was every Wednesday, 36 weeks, and it was a place where my talents and strengths were discovered. So it was like an engineering course, bit of bench fitting, mechanical, electrical, and I went on to excel in that environment. So British Aerospace offered me an apprenticeship when I left school. So it was BAE Systems in Woodford in Cheshire. Don't exist anymore. Big housing estate. They were building the BAE 146, the Avro liner. They were refitting the Nimrod, which was military aircraft. And so I did the course. I excelled, and that's where my talents were discovered. From school, I went to the railway industry. I went to rail, and I worked for Network Rail. So I spent with them qualifications. They helped me. So I did MVQ level 2 mechanical electrical engineering at British Aerospace, and they helped me gain access to the rail industry. Did a full railway apprenticeship with Network Rail. Went into maintenance, inspection, technical designs, renewals, and I ended up running a department which was so later on it was a brand new department designed by Network Rail, doing welding with these high-tech machines, £1.5 million machines, going all over the UK, and it's very, very, it was a very specialist department. There's not a lot of departments in Network Rail that you work national. This was a national department, and they wanted like the top 20 engineers in Network Rail to go into this department. I was one of them. So worked for Network Rail for just over 10 years. Absolutely excelled. I'm the highest achieving apprentice for Network Rail, still to this day. I've got distinction in rail engineering. By the age of 24, I was one of the youngest and well-known designers on the UK network. Relayed bridges over the Thames, worked on the Forth Rail Bridge, worked on the Highland Line, worked all over Manchester, up Peak District, all the quarries. And I was very, very good. I just wanted to learn. So went from there. I left Network Rail and I went to Petro Ineos, which is oil and gas. So global oil and gas, and I ran their rail infrastructure in Scotland. So everything on the track, the locomotives. I got my train driving certificates. I got all machine driving certificates. So all the fancy machines you see on the railway driving about, flashing lights and stuff. I got all my certificates to drive them, all my competencies to drive them. I went on to teach and coach one of the youngest managers now in Network Rail, who's got one of the most productive patches on the whole UK rail network. He's in the southeast of England. I coached him for 4 years. He's got section managers below. I won't mention him on here what his name is. But yeah, coached him for 4 years, and he was the youngest high-end manager within Network Realm. So yeah, from there, I got into youth programs, and that's how we come across each other before. My passion was looking at the background I came from, and I thought, you know what? There's 1,000 lads like me out there, more, right? Lads, girls, right? Far cleverer than me that never ever get the opportunity. And with the school system at the moment, we've got this issue where lads, girls, whatever, aren't learning in the classroom, and people think they're disruptive. They're not disruptive. They just learn in a different way. So what we find is, and you've done your youth work, and you've been out there and you've seen these youths on parks. I've seen these youths on parks. They're dropping out of school and they're drinking. They get involved with drugs. We're having kids young and stuff, and it all falls, for me personally. It all boils down to the education system.
And that's a good point there. So before you continue, I just want to backtrack a little bit on you. So it'd be fair to say that your school basically saw you as stupid, troubled, unintelligent. You didn't fit into the one size fits all education that is all we offer. For 11 years of education in this country, we offer one size fits all. If you don't fit into that, then you're deemed as stupid, dysfunctional. And so is that a fair assessment of what you think your school thought of you?
100%, and not just me. Loads of other lads in my year. Yeah.
Absolutely. A government report came out in 2018, I think it was, for England and Wales. And it basically said 18% of pupils in England and Wales fail secondary school. 80, that's 1 in 5 kids that the system is letting down. Some of those we will kick out of school because they're trouble causers, because they're disrupting the class, because our school needs to keep a good record. So if we get rid of them and kick them out, it makes our GCSE results look even better because they're going to get on anyway. And we're throwing these kids on the scrap heap. Now, you were very lucky to have one teacher in your school who saw potential in you. And you were also even luckier that there was such a program at the time to send you on. I mean, the odds of that all coming together is like winning the lottery, basically.
Yeah, of course.
We've both done youth work. We both work with young people, and I'm tired of seeing us as a nation writing off 1 in 5 kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What are we do? We recycle everything in this country now. Our garbage, our bottles, everything we recycle, but we won't recycle young people because once they won't fit, that's it. They're gone. They're just refuge now. And so tell me a little bit about what you did after that for young people who are like you, but several generations later.
Yeah. So what happened was, so I left Petro. My dad got terminal cancer. Okay, so I left Petro Ineos, which is up on the Fife Coast, to look after my dad. So this was in Scotland, and you may be familiar with a place called Buckhaven in Fife, right? It's very, very deprived. It was old mining town, so all the Fife Coast. You've either got really, really wealthy people to do there, a lot of holiday homes, or you've got a population that's extremely deprived. So it's got some of the highest heroin use and substance abuse in the whole of the UK. My daughter lives in that area, and you know what? I was driving through, all the shops are closing down, getting boarded up, and the youths are off the rails. So what I did, I'm passionate about fixing stuff like diggers and tractors, and you name it. I love to fix stuff. So what I did, I thought, I'm going to try and tackle this. So what I did, I approached the local authorities and said, you know what, I've rented a small workshop, and I was doing restoration projects, and I was like, put me in touch with some people who need a bit of an extra hand. So I did three pilot schemes, three different lads, and ages around 15. One was heavily into drugs, one was antisocial behaviour, the other one had fell out the school system, and he's dyslexic. He was homeschooled by his parents. So I did 3 programs, restoring tractors and machinery, and these youths excelled, and now they're all full-time employed. Okay. From there, I was then contacted by Lanarkshire Council, and we did a motorbike project there to promote antisocial behaviour youths over in Lanarkshire, Bells Hill, in Glasgow, and created. It was a simple course, put on some transport, 15 lads off the streets, just like that. It reduced antisocial behaviour by 70% in 3 months, and I was congratulated by Police Scotland. Right, it was crazy, and all they said to me was, "How have you done this? We've tried to do it for 20 years. How have you done it?" I said, "I was one of them." I said, "That's it. You know, they can relate to me. You know, same sort of background, and it gives people inspiration. When they hear my story, it gives you inspiration. Do you know what? We can be like him. Do you know what it is? I say to them, you don't want to be like me, mate. Go out and be better than me. You know what I mean? You know, there's lads out there well smarter than I am."
And something you also did differently as well that the police and the councils didn't do. You offered something they actually wanted to do.
That's it.
Instead of going out, lads, do you want to play football? No. Do you want to play cricket? No. Do you want to do arts and crafts? No. You offered them something that they actually wanted to do. And that's what we keep failing when we're engaging with communities or engaging with the homeless or engaging with young people. We tell them what we think they should be doing.
Yep.
And we wonder why they don't engage.
The secret is, right, if you can find something that youths like, right, the key thing to be able to do is open their mind, right. If you can open a youth's mind, you can put in manners, you can put in respect, motivation. When that mind's open, yeah, find something they want to do, put them in a place they want to learn, right. When you do that, right, you can install anything into them.
Exactly. You said something a few minutes ago that I actually made a note of, and you probably didn't realize you said it. You said, "I like fixing things."
Yeah.
And that's very unique now in our society because we live in a throwaway culture. So we're not fixing people anymore now. We throw them away. But because you're different, because you want to get your hands dirty and you want to fix things, you're looking at those young people going, well, let's fix them. Let's not just throw them away. And we don't have those conversations anymore.
Well, you know, where would I have been without that course, right? Okay, so you know, I had lads in my year right, at school who were drinking on parks at night times, going to sleep on the settees at night time. You know, people who know me or know these stories I'm talking about. You know, good friend of ours, white lightning and whatever, drinking cider, fell asleep on the settee, died. Right? Okay, alcohol. Right. Another good friend of ours played in Edgeley back in 2000 and I think 99. One of our good friends called Jack fell off the flats. Yeah, just you're losing loads and loads of youths that don't fit the system. We're losing them. So yeah, so I've gone on actually to. I'm now a teacher. I teach. So I teach railway engineering. I teach construction industry. I teach plant machinery, diggers, people to drive dumper trucks, rollers, you know, that sort of stuff, and give them competencies. And I work with people between the ages of 19 and 65, right? Some of it's government schemes, government funded, and you know, they come in, they're a bit lost, they don't know who to turn to or what to do, and then they go out the door skilled and in work. And you know, it's I always tell my story when I've got a new class, I have a class of 7 to 8 every week, and I always tell my story. And you know, some tutors, where I work, they warned me because the story was interesting. You know what I mean? And a lot of these people who come through, right, they can relate to it, and that's what they wanted. Someone who was a good machine driver. I'm not the best machine driver in the world. They want a good machine driver, but they also wanted somebody who was good at teaching. I'm not the best teacher in the world, but bringing them both together, yeah, and relating to the students, boom, it just works, mate. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's a feel good job, and I've gone back on it. The money, the money's good, but I'm not there for the money, mate. I'm there to change lives.
So before we end, if you could change one thing in secondary schools, what would that be?
Right, easy one for me, mate. Have some sort of alternative education, right, or you know, some opportunity for youth to expose and to discover and expose talents between 11, 12, 13, 14 years old, right? And have an alternative for something practical. So whether you're bringing in motor vehicle mechanics, whether you're bringing in motorbikes, spray painting, welding fabrication, have something different there that it creates like a why, you know what I mean? So keep the academic system has value, right? There's a lot of good people who thrive at school, thrive in a classroom, and go on to be really good people, high-end jobs, whatever, but also have this other route. You know, I had no qualifications. I had the opportunity in British Aerospace. You know, by the time I was 25, 26, I was on 50 odd £1,000 a year. Right, I'm 37 now. Right, I'm going back 10 years ago when you were getting 50 grand a year. Yeah, I've had nice houses, I've had fast cars. Right, and do you know what? It was all because of that opportunity. So I'm one of these youths that thrived in a practical environment. There's thousands of us. Right, and I think that's where we need to change. Is at a young age we have some sort of alternative education to help them.
Completely agree. And like I said, according to the government report and figures, 18% of young people are like you. And we can't let down 18%, 1 in 5 of young people. We need to give them a different type of schooling that's just as valuable, that helps them in life to get a decent job, to raise a family, to buy a house, instead of saying you're failing our system and blaming the young person for the failings of the system. Billy, inspirational as always. Thank you for coming on, and I'll speak to you soon.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Cheers, mate.